Now this lecture is in continuation with of the previous lecture. So we were at protons, right? Proton has mass of 1.672 into 10 to the power of minus 27 and its charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulombs, right? And if you want to find the E upon m ratio of proton, it is 9.58 into 10 to the power of 4, right? It's 9.58 into 10 to the power of minus 4 coulomb per gram. This is E upon m ratio of proton, which is highest, right? E upon m ratio for proton would be highest because we have here understood that hydrogen ion, that is the positively charged particle, the mass of positively charged particles produced in the discharge tube was minimum for these hydrogen ions, right? And we have also understood that other gases, the positively charged particles that are produced due to other gases, their mass is whole number multiple of the mass of proton, that is the mass of positively charged particles due to other gases is found to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times of the mass of proton, right? So in a way we can also say that the mass of or the positive charge in other gases, right? The positive charge in any other gases, in any other gas, positively charged particles is twice the mass of this proton, right? Or we may also say that the other positively charged particles contains 2, 3, 5, 6 protons, right? So the mass of protons would be 2, 3, 5 times the mass of hydrogen ions if we talk about other gases, right? That is why, if you remember, when we draw the structure of atom, right, inside the nucleus it has protons and neutrons, so we say it has 2 protons. When we talk about protons, it means hydrogen ions, right? So if say any other gas has 2 protons, 3 protons, 5 protons, then it means that its mass is 5 times the mass of hydrogen ions, right? So once you know the mass, right, you can, or once you know the positive charge on the nucleus, right, of an atom, you can find the number of protons in it, right? And so now we know that a proton is a subatomic particle. Now we are done with the proton, right, discovery of proton. Now proton is a subatomic particle having unit positive charge, right, having unit positive charge, right, and its mass is equal to 1.672 into 10 to the power of minus 27, right, which is about 1837 times the mass of electron, right? So mass of proton is equals to 1837 times the mass of electron. You can see how much heavier this proton is compared to electron, right? So now just remember one thing, that the discovery of proton goes to Goldstein, right? I mentioned the name here, Goldstein, right? Now we'll go through the discovery of neutrons, right? Neutrons, let me first just let's quickly rub this. Discovery of neutrons. By now we know that we have also studied in previous classes that when you used to draw the orbital diagrams, right, while showing the electrovalent bond or covalent bond, you used to draw electrons that are moving around, the electrons are moving in different shells, right? Protons and neutrons are inside the nucleus, right? Till this point we know, right? We are already familiar with these things. Now we will see what lead to the discovery of neutrons, right, that are inside the nucleus, right, that we draw inside the nucleus. And one more thing, till this point when we are studying about the discovery of these subatomic particles, electrons, protons and neutrons, scientists are not aware of how these particles are arranged in an atom, right? Scientists were not at this time when protons were discovered, right? New electrons were discovered. At this time, scientists were not aware of that these protons and neutrons are inside the nucleus, and these electrons are revolving around in different shells around the nucleus, right? This was done later once all these subatomic particles were discovered. Now we'll go with neutron, the discovery of neutron, right? There's an experiment that we will do in next lecture, Rutherford alpha scattering experiment, right? Rutherford scattering experiment, wherein using this alpha scattering experiment, Rutherford discovered, right, or Rutherford could find the positive charge or the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom, right? So Rutherford and his students, right, they discovered the positive charge on the nucleus, or the number of protons, in the nucleus of an atom, right? Rutherford now knew after his alpha particle experiment that this proton, right, is inside the nucleus, right? It's in a very small place in the entire atom, which is in the center of the atom, right, which is nucleus, and it has protons in it. Due to protons in it, the nucleus is positively charged, right? Now, since electrons that are revolving around the nucleus, right, they have negligible mass, right? So the entire mass of an atom is due to the number of protons, right, that were discovered earlier, which are in the nucleus, right? So the mass of an atom is due to mass of protons inside the nucleus. Till this point we do not know about neutron, right? So when we tried to find experimentally the masses of various atoms, right? For example, if we know that helium consists of 2 protons, whereas hydrogen consists of 1 proton, right? So the mass of helium should be equal to twice the mass of hydrogen atom, right? But this is not so. This mass of helium was not twice the mass of hydrogen atom, right? Whereas this is not equal, but the mass of helium was equal to 4 times the mass of hydrogen atom. It was found to be 4 times the mass of hydrogen atom, right? And we know that the mass is due to protons which are inside the nucleus, right? Till this time we know that there are protons only in the nucleus. Now the similar discrepancy of the mass, right, of various atoms, the similar discrepancy was found with other atoms as well, right? So this led Rutherford to think that there must be some other particle, right, in the nucleus that does not have any charge, right? He said that there is some neutral particles present inside the nucleus that does not carry any charge, but he did not prove it experimentally, right? So what he did, since Rutherford proposed the existence of neutral particles, right, in the nucleus of atoms, but could not prove it experimentally, then there was another scientist named Chadwick, right, He carried out some experiments, right? Wherein what he did, he bombarded certain light elements like beryllium and boron with your alpha particles, right? When he bombarded light elements like beryllium and boron with helium, he noticed the emission of certain particles, emission of some neutral particles whose mass is same as that of protons, right? So when we'll just write down the equation, right, or like we used to write in nuclear chemistry, bombardment of beryllium and boron, right, with helium, right? This is your beryllium 94. When you bombard beryllium with helium, right, when you bombard beryllium with helium, you get carbon 12 6, right, plus neutron. This is your, these are some particles. At this time the name was not given to it, right? This is 0 and 1, right? This means it has some mass, right, but it does not carry any charge with it, right? Similarly, if we talk about the other light element which he used was boron, right? Boron, when he bombarded boron with helium, he got nitrogen, then this, these rays were emitted, right, that does not carry any charge, right, on this reaction, right? So when he bombarded these thin sheets, right, of light elements like beryllium and boron with alpha particles, right, when neutral particles that have mass nearly equal to those of hydrogen atom were emitted, right, being neutral, these are termed as neutrons. So these are neutral, these rays were neutral that were emitted when helium was bombarded, when these light elements like beryllium and boron were bombarded with helium, right? And this has mass which is equal to the mass of proton, and we know the mass of proton is this, right? So this lead to the discovery of neutrons, right? I'll just repeat this. Since when Rutherford proved, right, that the positive charge is inside the nucleus, right? Positive charge due to protons, these protons are inside the nucleus, right? And the electrons that are revolving around the nucleus have negligible mass, right? So entire mass of an atom is due to the number of protons that are inside the nucleus, right? But when experimentally the mass, once you know the positive charge, right, once you know the positive charge on the nucleus, you can find the number of protons, right? If the positive charge, say, is twice that of hydrogen atoms or protons, because if you remember in the previous experiment we have said that the masses of positively charged particles due to other gases were whole number multiple of the mass of proton, right? So once you know the positive charge on the nucleus of any element, right, which must be the whole number multiple of the mass of proton or hydrogen atom, right, hydrogen positively charged particle due to hydrogen atom, then we can find the number of protons, right? We can define the total charge in terms of the number of protons inside the nucleus, right? So once you know the number of protons, like in case of helium we have 2 protons, right? So the mass of helium atom, right, is due to the number of protons inside the nucleus. But if you find here the mass of helium must be, you have 2 protons, right? So 2 protons means the mass of helium is due to the mass of 2 protons. It should be twice the mass of hydrogen ion, right? but experimentally the mass of helium is found 4 times the mass of hydrogen ion. Right? What could be the reason? Then Rutherford said there is some neutral particle that is present inside he proposed this, that there is some neutral particle which is present inside the nucleus, right, of an element, that is contributing this extra mass of 2 units, right, here. Now, what is this particle, right, that is adding this 2 more units in case of helium, right, and similar discrepancy was seen in other elements as well. Now later in 1932, scientist named Chadwick, he carried out certain experiments. Rutherford could not explain this experimentally, right? So the discovery of neutron goes to Chadwick. He carried out some experiments where he bombarded beryllium and boron with helium particles. When he bombarded beryllium and boron with helium particles, he noticed the emission of some radiation that does not carry any charge, and the mass of these radiation is equal to the mass of proton. Right here, if you look at this, we said that the mass of these particles is equal to the mass of protons. That is why here it's 4 times actually, right? But since at this time we did not know about neutrons, we were calculating the mass of helium to be twice that of proton, right? So from where, what is this missing 2 units, right? These missing units were these neutral particles due to neutrons, right? These particles are neutrons because they are neutral, right? So these 2 units that we are missing here is due to these 2 neutrons, right? Because one neutron is also, the mass of one neutron is also equal to the mass of protons, right? So here the neutrons, right, are also present inside the nucleus. Now in the nucleus we say we have protons plus we have neutrons, right? So the mass of any element is the mass of protons plus neutrons. Why not electrons? Because electrons carry negligible mass, right? So this lead to the discovery of your neutrons. So you can define neutrons as a neutron may be defined as an electrically neutral subatomic particle having mass equal to the mass of proton, which is 1.67 into 10 to the power of minus 27 kilogram, right, and which is equal to that of hydrogen atom or proton. We have already done this. And I said that now the nucleus contains protons plus neutrons, right, together inside the nucleus of an element, right. These protons and neutrons are collectively known as nucleons, right. These are collectively known as nucleons, right, inside the nucleus. And the atomic number of any element, right, is the number of protons. We already know this, right. Atomic number is equal to number of protons, right, and mass number is equal to mass of the number of protons plus neutrons, right. So this is it. Just remember that this discrepancy, right, in the masses of elements, right, lead to the discovery of neutrons, and this was experimentally proved by Chadwick, right, when he bombarded light particles with light atoms of beryllium and boron with alpha particles, where he noted the emission of some rays that does not carry any charge but has mass equal to the mass of proton, right. So the mass of any atom is due to the masses of the number of protons and neutrons inside the nucleus of an element, right. So this is almost, we are done with the discovery of neutrons, right. So now we know the discovery of all the 3 subatomic fundamental particles, protons, neutrons and electrons, right. Electron was discovered by J.J. Thomson in 1897. Proton was discovered by Goldstein in 1896. And both these discoveries were done using discharge tube experiment, right? And neutron was discovered by James Chadwick in 1932, right? And the charges on these subatomic particles, neutrons has neutral charge, right? Protons has positive charge, and electrons has negative charge, right? And masses of these particles, mass of neutrons is equal to that of mass of neutron is equal to that of proton, and we know the mass is this much. And charge on proton, right? Charge on proton is positive charge, right? And its charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19, which is same as the mass on electron, but opposite sign. Electron has same negative charge. And E upon m in case of proton would be different for different gases, right? Because the mass of positively charged particles would be different in case of different gases. Whereas if we talk about electrons, E upon m ratio would be same, right? So this is it, right? This is important. You should know about these fundamental particles in order to go ahead with the atomic structure, chemical bonding, right? Because in future also, after 12th, if you study science, there also this thing would be continued in higher sciences like spectroscopy, right? And quantum chemistry. All this you have in your graduation. So make sure you understand all these things, right, properly. So I hope all this is clear to you. Thanks.